Yo, think about this. Why do we need a shepherd? And if God is not guiding you, who is? These are some points to ponder in this week's Sunday school lesson. Yo, we have a great Sunday school lesson this week focusing on a passage many of us have heard our whole lives, Psalm 23. That is our passage for this week. The lesson focuses, I will not fear with God as my shepherd. And the title is Confidence in God's Shepherding. There are so many points to ponder that we have to make sure that we get to all of them this week. But I want to remind you why we're here, because we believe that good questions lead to good conversation. Good conversation leads to good community. Good questions lead to good conversation. Good conversation leads to great community. That's why we're here. And transparency is what builds community. And that's why I want to give you great questions you can ask your class this week. If you're that Sunday school teacher, if you're that Bible study leader, because great questions come from three main sources. And you know, because we talk about them all the time. It comes from pulling out emotions, decisions, and responses, right? Emotions, decisions, and responses. So once we look through the text and see what is in this scripture, I think there will be some great points for us to ponder this week. I'm going to give you one before we even enter the lesson. And it's based on the title. Here's point to ponder number one. What is the difference in believing in God and having confidence in God? Have that discussion with your class, because I think that question alone can lead us to really understanding and going deeper into the lesson. Do we really have confidence in God? Or do we just believe in God, just sing to God, and that's it? Do we really have confidence in God? And what's the proof of that? What's the proof of having confidence in God? Let's look at our first outline. Although I already gave you a point to ponder. Here we go. First outline. Listen what it says in verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing, in the NIV. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path for his name's sake. Here's the question. Why do we all need a shepherd? Why in life do we need a shepherd? Don't we have degrees? Aren't we smart? Don't we have the internet? Don't we have Google? Have that discussion in your class and get people to articulate, why do we still need a shepherd? Or you can ask personally, why do you think you need a shepherd in your life? And some people may talk about life situations they've gone through. Let people flesh that out, because remember, transparency builds community. So please make sure you give people time to answer. So our second point to ponder is, why do we need a shepherd? And here, here's point to ponder number 3. I'm about to jump right on in. And here's a great question I think you can ask your class. If we realize we need a shepherd, why do we still fight for control? If we realize we need a shepherd, why do we still fight for control? Why do we still fight to have it our way? Why do we still disobey when we know the right thing to do? Point to ponder number 3. And that's just in this first outline. The 3 points are already given you. But here's the thing. When you ask those questions, don't just rush off and try to give the right answer. Remember, your goal as a teacher also is only talk about 40% of the time, less if possible, because transparency builds community. And if you're doing all the talking, people don't have opportunity to be transparent. They know your story, but they don't know nothing else. And they'll never feel the inadequacy of their growth. They need to feel that, man, I need to step up. And that comes by them speaking out based on their answers to these questions. So that's something to ponder. I'm going to the second outline. I know you can have conversations about the rest, so I trust you to do so. In the second outline, it's entitled The Shepherd King. The Shepherd King. Verse 5 says this: You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Point to ponder number 4. If God is with us in the shadow of death, if God is leading us, and God is setting this table before us in the presence of our enemies, here's the point to ponder number 4. Why do some of us still fear people so much? Why do some of us still fear people so much? What people can do, what the boss gonna do, what this person gonna do, how people gonna look at me. Why do we still fear people so much if God already said he's with us? He's guiding us. His presence is with us. Why do we still give people so much power? Ooh! Why do we still give people so much power? That's point to ponder number 4, man. Listen what it says. Surely, listen what it says in verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy, goodness and love in the NIV will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Here's verse 5. And I want to ask this question for assurance reasons, because I want to summarize the whole psalm. If God is in front of us, he leads us, remember? God is with us, remember, in the valley of the shadow of death. Grace and mercy are following us. Why is fear still real in your life? If God is before us, with us, and behind us, why does fear still have such power in your life? Why are you still afraid to go after your dreams? Why are you still afraid to do what God has called you to do? Why are you still afraid to step out on faith? You know what I just did, right? I gave you an opportunity to circle back to the first question. Do we really have confidence in God, or do we just believe in him? Remember, the purpose of this video is just to give you great questions that you can ask. I've given you 6 points to ponder. I put up the wrong number in the fingers. 6 points to ponder in the lesson this week. So I am asking you to go in and have great conversation. Remember, your job as a teacher, only try to speak 40% of the time. Give people time to answer the questions, right or wrong. Give them time. Don't worry about getting to all the questions. Just worry about having transparency, which will lead to greater community, because good questions lead to good conversation, which leads to great community. Have a great class. See you next week. Bye.